Oh ho ho! Oh man, it is looking worse for AT&T because they have now taken a $5.5 billion loan to try to keep themselves afloat. You know what that means? The axe has been lifted and they're gonna start chopping. Hey, what is going on, everybody? How are you all doing today? I hope you all are having a wonderful and fantastic day today, and if not, hopefully you all will have a better tomorrow. So, AT&T takes out a $5.5 billion loan to keep themselves alive during the issue that I can't talk about. Oh boy. You know, they are the company that is within the most debt right now, and this is going to put them further into that. Warner Media parent AT&T takes out $5.5 billion loan, assures Wall Street it's financially solid amid the issue I can't talk about. Warner Media parent AT&T said Tuesday that it set up a new $5.5 billion loan agreement and competitive rates with 12 banks to provide additional financial flexibility to its already strong cash position. Now, mind you, last year, before their fourth and final quarter, they were at $170 billion in debt, and that they were already starting to cut people last year. That is why a lot of things had been really, axed. I'll go into that in just a moment. The loans are prepayable without penalty, it said, as it seeks to reassure the markets and employs it's on solid ground in uncertain times. The company said it would provide more information on the issue I can't talk about, impacts to its financial and operational results on its first quarter earnings call April 22nd. As if this wasn't already confirmed that they weren't going to do these things, considering that they said, John Stankey himself stated, that no place is safe, meaning that they were going to start axing things in 2020. So we knew they were going to start trimming the fat, and they're going to do this even more so now because they need to stay afloat during these hard times. So companies right now, that's why they're taking out loans and things like that, because they're in a load of trouble. AT&T is the latest big media company to flesh out its cash cushion to hedge against the economic risk and unknowns of the issue I can't talk about. Disney, Comcast, Viacom, CBS, and Fox between them have recently raised close to $14 billion by selling debt securities. Some companies like Discovery and AMC Entertainment have tapped their revolving credit lines. Others, like AMC Networks, have reassured investors that they have a revolver if needed. In AMC Networks' case, access to $500 million as yet untapped. In a statement, AT&T today also offered a financial update, taking off its points of financial strength, including a strong balance sheet and attractive liquidity. It said it had about $12 billion in cash on hand as of December 31st and received about $4 billion from selling preferred stock in February. It also completed a share repurchase in March, but has now stopped all share repurchases. So, you're looking at it. They're going to try to put everything on HBO Max. We talked about this before. So, they're putting all their bets on that. And before they even became one company, when they were two separate companies, keep in mind, they both had terrible debt. The thing of it is, last year, there was a lot of chopping going on. Even back in March, there was a time that it wasn't even recorded of how many people they chopped from Rooster Teeth because of the issues they had been going through. And so now, prepare to see more get chopped. It's going to happen. It's going to happen because they were talking about last year, how they were going to try to, downsize some things. Not only that, their fourth quarter did not go over well as they had hoped. And that's how AT&T works. You don't give them the numbers they're looking for, you're going to get the axe. That's how it's been. Then again, to be fair, you could say that about any company realistically, but you get my point. It's been more so tight with AT&T than anything to try to cut down that debt. Going forward, the company, which plans to roll out HBO Max next month, said it expects the following to put it in a good place. Like I said, they're putting all their bets on HBO Max. The strength and relevance of core subscription businesses, continued execution on business transformation initiatives, and sizing operations to economic activity will provide cash from operations that will support network investments, dividend payments, and debt retirement, as well as the ability to invest in business opportunities that arise as the economics recover. So that's where their hope comes in. During these times, of course, when things are kind of going really bad right now, right? They're going bad. Yeah, this is what they expect to save them, is an online streaming service. This is what they expect. And it's very expensive. But this is where they're putting all their bets. I'm not even kidding you. About $2 billion from the expected closing later in 2020 from the previously announced divestiture of CME, as well as additional proceeds from a number of other real estate and lower sales. The company expects to close the sale of its Puerto Rico and U.S. Virgin Islands operations later this year and intends to use the proceeds to retire an outstanding preferred interest. Ooh, okay. Putting all their chips in there, right? So AT&T likes to gamble. Continued access to commercial paper, bond markets, and other financing activities, which, as in the past, will be utilized as part of normal financing activity based on cost, duration, and overall market conditions. As it has for the past 36 years, the company will pay a quarterly dividend to shareholders. AT&T added that its pension fund requires no cash in the near term, and it doesn't expect any required contributions through 2022. The plan has allocated substantially all of the remaining assets to fixed income, preferred securities, and other investments which have returns much less impacted by current equity markets. It also emphasized that it believes its exposure to near-term equipment shortages is limited, giving a geographically diverse supply chain. Now, here's the thing. Some of you may remember, last year, they were really hyping up HBO Max. That was the big thing. And then layoffs were going back and forth last year. And remember, this is before the issue that's going on right now even occurred. So they were having these financial problems before this, and they were making massive cuts. There was one back in March that they had chopped people from Rooster Teeth, wasn't even recorded. And then, of course, you look at it again. In September, what happened? September, they chopped 13% of Rooster Teeth's workforce. If you also remember, they also demoted some people, which Rooster Teeth's not even the head of their own company anymore. And, when you look at that 13%, that equaled up to 50 to 54 people being cut out of 400 people. Not a good number. And, of course, they've had people leaving between then, which has not looked any better. In which inside sources have told me that they've already been planning on rolling Rooster Teeth into Cartoon Network, into their animation department. So it's not looking good for them. But then again, when you look at Rooster Teeth, losing millions on Genlock that they didn't get back. And then, of course, you have their employees going on about Orange Man bad and trying to tell you what your politics should be, who you should vote for regardless of what you think. I mean, look at one of their employees right here. This is my opinion, and I expect people to disagree, but just vote blue. I think this election is just about the person running. You need to look beyond that. That's all they care about. That's all they push into their entertainment. That's why Rooster Teeth's going down the drain and costing AT&T money. I mean, that's a factor right there. And then, of course, you look at the comic book industry. Look at DC Comics. Look at everything as a whole there. With Diamond already basically just halting their payments to the vendors and just saying, yeah, we'll pay you back when we can. Diamond is pretty much broke. I mean, you look at it, Diamond is probably not coming back after all this is said and done. I don't think that they will come back. I think Diamond is gone, which then hurts the comic book industry. We already know that they tried to get rid of DC before, so this might give them more of a reason to just get rid of DC Comics entirely. So that means that the DC comic chain would be done. It would be kaput at that point. It'd be over. And I wouldn't be surprised. They'd probably either A, try to sell it off, or B, they'll just cancel it outright and be like, nope, we're done. And that's what they might do. They might actually chop it. And that's the thing. That's huge for them. I mean, the industry is dying as it is, and it just makes it that much worse. But also, look at this. New Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar talks HBO Max, expansion, importance of tech, future of linear TV, and theatrical windows. Now, in case you're wondering who Jason Kilar is, he was actually one of the founding members of Hulu. They brought him in to take charge here. And think about it. When you think about what Hulu was, they had add-ons for anime and things like that. So that means that they could take some of these other companies, just merge them in there. That's the important thing here. Incoming Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar said Wednesday that expanding HBO Max internationally and getting the technology right are two takeaways from his time growing Hulu and subsequent launch of a smaller VOD service called Vessel. Warner Media parent AT&T revealed earlier today that Kilar will take the top job starting May 1st in the midst of the global thing that's going on that I can't talk about. In an interview with Deadline, Kilar called the situation unprecedented and sobering, but it's confident entertainment will snap back as it has after previous crisis, given the collapsing advertisement market. However, he's glad the ad-supported version of HBO Max wasn't slated to launch till 2021. Getting that out and right is another priority, and he can draw on Hulu, where he launched subscription-based and free ad-supported tiers. See, this is what I'm talking about. They could just basically take their other, I guess you could say, formats for entertainment, and they could just merge them into HBO Max. And when you think about it, they're known to do these sort of things. I mean, look at it. DramaFever, extremely popular. And the next thing you know, pulled the plug without anybody knowing it was going to happen. You could put those shows, that drama, on another streaming platform. To them, they're probably thinking, why in the world do we need more than one streaming platform when we can just take all the assets of the other streaming platforms that we have and roll these companies into other companies, like rolling Crunchyroll and also rolling Rooster Teeth into Cartoon Network, which I've heard from insiders that this is something that they are likely going to do. And, then they could just have it be one big animation district for HBO Max. I mean, that would then cut the loose threads, and then, of course, at that point, it would all be set for that streaming service. And that's what they're more than likely going to do. I would not be surprised if they do this. I mean, look at Crunchyroll. You think about it, Crunchyroll, in comparison to HBO Max, HBO Max is going to have Studio Ghibli, which Crunchyroll doesn't even have and is not going to get. So they'll probably, and this is just a thought here, but what they'll probably do to Crunchyroll is they'll probably just roll Crunchyroll into HBO Max, and then in doing so, they'll probably give people that were subscribed to Crunchyroll, some kind of, I don't know, like year membership or something, or some percentage off on a membership or whatever. Wouldn't be surprised if they did something like that. And, when you think about it, Crunchyroll got that huge office in San Francisco. I mean, that is expensive. That was definitely not cheap. So, I don't know. And that was before the big, chopping that's been going on last year. Then you look at Rooster Teeth. Rooster Teeth, they have a lot of problems going for them. I mean, they had to up their own subscription service because they were losing so much money because they lost millions that they did not get back on Genlock, which was a complete and utter disaster. And, you look at it, they themselves are in danger of getting chopped because, like I said, what would they need for Rooster Teeth whenever they already have Genlock Season 2 being put on HBO Max, which I don't know why they would even give it another season when it lost them millions of dollars, but whatever, sure. I mean, that was their way of obviously thinking they'd get the money back, but they're not going to. And then, of course, that's the thing. So why are they even going to need Rooster Teeth if, obviously Rooster Teeth Sloppy Seconds is not where it's going to go first, like Rooster Teeth even promised it would, right? Because they're like, oh yes, all of our exclusive content will be here first. Yeah, good lie there, Rooster Teeth. But that's the thing. When you think about it, they will probably take a lot of these companies and just merge them into one. And from what I'm hearing, it'll be Cartoon Network. So chopping is coming. Heads are going to roll. So don't be surprised if you start seeing some cutting coming soon with AT&T and Warner Media. Because AT&T, they're picking up that axe. And they're about to start chopping things off just to be able to save on money. But anyways, let me know what you think about this entire situation down below. Subscribe to the channel if you are new here, and make sure you are still subscribed because YouTube is unsubscribing people from all their favorite channels. So make sure you are subscribed to all your favorite channels. Hit the video with a like, and also be sure to share the video on social media. Spread the word and get it out there. It's greatly appreciated, and it really helps out the channel a lot. Also, be sure to follow me on Discord. We have a wonderful community there. Not only that, but it will keep you up to date on when the newest videos will be released, as well as any other upcoming events in the future. So be sure to follow me on Discord. The link is in the description down below. But anyways, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful and fantastic day today. And remember, if today was not a good day, tomorrow could always be better. Take care of yourselves and everyone around you. And have yourselves a good one out there, everybody.